it was late to the game. It was created in the 90s, and most of those commissions started in the 60s, after the wave of riots in the late 60s. And B, 50A was the wall. What does that mean? So 50A basically protected law enforcement, firefighters, and COs, corrections officers, from having any of their personnel or disciplinary records be publicly scrutinized. So if somebody came to my office and filed a complaint and said, I feel like I was harassed by an officer or mistreated, I'd say, okay, I'd take the complaint, I'd send it over to Internal Affairs, and then I'd have to go on faith, because I wasn't allowed to see those records. Now, we can. Now we can. That's huge. That's huge. So what does that mean locally? That Human Rights Commission that just got reinstated now can actually do something. Now can actually see and check and see if there's a pattern. And if there's a pattern, you can make some changes. That's just one avenue of us connecting, because right now, it's where do we go from this moment, which is that inflection point, and how do we move forward? Because the rallies, the protests, the marching, it's wonderful for attracting attention and raising the issue. But unless we figure out how to operationalize this, it dissipates. It goes away. So that means working with the coalitions, like the one here in Jamestown. And you got to attract, we talk about institutional racism. Let's just talk about three main institutions: government, schools, churches. Let's just start there. And that's just the beginning. What can you do as a member of a church, as a school board member, or as a teacher, or as an administrator, to change policies internally to affect the way we perceive the world and each other? So we're talking about policy changes at the school level. At the church level, we talk about fellowship across denominations and across religions, breaking bread together. It's time to start doing that. Black churches with white churches, mosques, temples with the Christian churches, Spanish-speaking churches breaking bread with the English-speaking churches. We need to start doing that. Let's make it something. Because then we can start to see, oh, I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine who's very white, from Hamburg, older gentleman, great guy. He's a people person. He said this, true story. Yesterday, I was at a birthday party, and he says, you know, growing up in Hamburg, I maybe saw 2 or 3 black people in my time. He's in his late 50s, in high school. He said it wasn't